Hello there, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about tips for the well-being of all the empaths who are watching. Yes, it is true. You do need to make special life accommodations in order to feel your very best, okay? Self-care is really super important for empaths. So let's talk about how you can care for yourself so that you can feel more clear and you can feel lighter and you can just feel your very best in this very dense reality here on the planet, okay? All right, so we have 11 tips today for all you lovely empaths. The first one, this is really serious. I put it at the top because this is the most important probably out of everything. Number one, do a weekly energy cleansing of your home and yourself. This is very important. Okay, let's talk about the two basic ways to do this, okay? Or the two-part energy cleanse for your life and yourself. Part one, you need to clear the energy in your home, okay? So here's two things that you can use to do that. All right, okay. Here's two things you can use to do that, right? Here, first, we have Palo Santo, okay? Both of these work in the same way. And secondly, we have some sage. Both of these work by lighting the end, lighting the tip, and then blowing them out, and then basically just going through your rooms and letting the smoke move through and clarify the space. When you do this, you want to open the windows, and you may need to cover your smoke detectors or put a fan under them. That's what I usually do. I put the fan right under the smoke detector to move the smoke away so that the smoke alarms don't come off. But it's really important. Cleanse your space. When I was younger and I was in college, I had sage bundles with me, and I think I carried them with me for 5 years before I ever actually lit one. Biggest mistake of my life. Biggest mistake of my life. I went through so many hard times and so many times of feeling like surrounded by negativity that I didn't need to. I could have just cleansed the space with sage. Let's say you live with other people or something in an apartment. Just do your bedroom or whatever, but just make sure you cleanse your space. Then part two, take a salt bath to cleanse your physical aura, okay? Right here I have the most affordable salt and baking soda, okay? So no matter what your price point is, I hope that you can afford this. I think this was 49 cents, and I think that this was 59 cents. So together, this was $1.10, okay? So you just open this and just dump it in the bath, and then just open this and then just dump it in the bath, and then just get in and just submerge yourself in the water. And if you don't have a bathtub, then put this in a bucket or in some sort of container with water and make a salt water concentrated solution, and then clean out, with a washcloth, clean out chakras with a washcloth, and then dump the bucket over your head. Close your eyes, otherwise it will sting. But yes, you need to cleanse your house, cleanse yourself once per week. That will change your life. It will change your life, oh my gosh. It might be helpful for you. Oh, I have baking soda everywhere. Okay, it might be helpful for you to set a specific day when you do this. Sunday's my cleansing day, or whatever day you like. Number two, spend time in nature every single day. And it doesn't need to be a lot of time. I know that many empaths are very, very busy, but getting out in nature is one of the best ways to get grounded. And if you also ask when you're in nature, please, wind and sunlight, can you just cleanse from my fields, anything that I no longer need, that will help a lot. Even if it is just that you go for a walk around the block or whatever, at the end of the day, do that. If you could have a more substantial experience in nature, that's great. And if you can get your exercise in nature, that's even better. I don't have exercise on this list. It didn't make the top 11, but exercise is very, very grounding for empaths. Even a small amount of exercise. It's not necessarily about the amount of time, it's more about just getting in your body. So things like starting the day with 50 jumping jacks, or even just a small jog, a 1 mile jog, something like that in nature. It will produce the results of getting you grounded, connecting you to the earth, and that's what your time in nature is really about. Number three, empaths, We must all learn to say no. For your well-being, you must develop the capacity to say no. This is typically really hard until you try it, and then once you start saying no to people, it feels so good that you will then continue on afterwards. But remind yourself to say no. If something doesn't feel right, or somebody's asking of you something that just doesn't feel right within you, or that you know is going to be draining, don't feel compelled to say yes just because you don't want to hurt the person. Empaths need to definitely work more than others on establishing boundaries, just on practicing saying no. And if you're scared to do that, just tell people that are in your life, like, I'm trying to practice this month saying no to things a little bit more, and then they won't be so surprised when you say no. But if somebody asks you to go out or something and you don't want to, just say no. You don't have to provide an excuse or anything like that. Just say no. Number 4, move away from negativity. So as an empath, you're going to be a lot more sensitive to negative energy than a typical person. When possible, just move away from the negative energy, okay? If you are experiencing negative energy online, just, close the browser. Or if somebody is, this is my controversial opinion, but this is what I practice in my own life. If somebody is texting you consistently and they're negative, block their number. If somebody's emailing you consistently and they're negative, block their email address, unsubscribe, like social media. And so that's kind of for the online world. In the real world, if you're in, let's say you're in the supermarket and there's somebody just kind of not very aware and they're sort of just venting, screaming, taking up a lot of space in the aisle where you need to get your pasta, okay? Just move away from the negativity. Even if you have to go out of your way to go far across the store and then come back at the very end to grab your pasta, do that. Don't expose yourself to any unnecessary negativity. And this also includes with the media. Empaths, do not watch the news. A lot of people think they have to watch the news. It's not healthy for you. Don't watch the news. Move away from negativity, okay? Just ask yourself, is this negative? Like, is this thing I'm doing, is this negative energy? Like, is this producing a lot of negative energy? If the answer is yes, move away. Sometimes you can't move away and then you can't move away. But if you can move away to get physically distanced from the negativity, then do that. If somebody calls you and you think that they're fine, but then all of a sudden they start being really negative, move away from the negativity to get off the phone. You know what I mean? Like, just move away from the negativity. Mantra for empaths: I allow myself to move away from the negativity, okay? Yes. Okay, number 5, eat a high protein diet. Empaths thrive best with a lot of protein and fat as well to nourish you and connect you to your body and ground you into your body. As an empath, every meal that you eat should include a protein source and a fat source. Our bodies are doing a lot more work as empaths. They're processing a lot more energies. In order to stay emotionally stable, to keep our blood sugar stable, etc., we need protein and fat at every meal. Now, speaking of dietary things, having a plant-based diet is also going to be best for empaths, because as empaths, we're so sensitive to the energy of things that we put into our body. So we may not feel our best if we're putting in animals who have suffered or things like that. But the main thing to keep in mind is that you're getting protein and you're getting fat at every single meal. A lot of protein, a little bit of fat will go a long way in helping you to feel stabilized. Number 6. Avoid stimulants and work to eliminate stimulants over time, okay? So when I say stimulants, I mean things like caffeine, things like sugar, things like music turned up all the way, like that makes you feel high, things like prescription drugs, things like that. We as empaths, we can find ourselves being really drawn to things that superficially raise our vibration. Things like sugar, for example, or caffeine, that superficially make us feel like we're higher vibration, or that soothe us in some way, or chocolate. Chocolate is a stimulant too, like things like that. And most empaths do find themselves semi-dependent or addicted to these substances, at least at some point in their life. Work to distance yourself from stimulants or to avoid stimulants, and eventually eliminate these stimulants in your day-to-day life. They're not actually helping you, like they're just sort of masking the pain. Number 7, ask for spiritual protection daily. Call upon your guardian angel or spirit guide and ask them to protect you each and every day from any unnecessary negative energies or traumas, and ask them to just guard and protect your auric field so that you can function at your very best and serve the world at your very best capacity. Also ask your guardian angel to remove from your field any energies that are not yours and any energies that are no longer needed at this time. Do that every day. It will make a very big difference. Number 8, sleep very well. So some of you may know that when we are sleeping, our soul actually has a chance to go into the higher realm and to heal itself, to recharge, to download information that we'll need in our daily life, etc. So getting enough sleep is very, very important for empaths and highly sensitive people, and sleeping well is very, very important. So prioritize your sleep, and if you're feeling totally overwhelmed by the world, consider taking a nap or getting an extra long sleep. It will make a really big difference. Just a couple basic tips: get like blackout curtains to go in your bedroom if you can. Sleep with an eye mask and with earplugs. Empaths especially need the sleep time to kind of recover from the overstimulating time that's often there in the day. You may also find it beneficial, very, very highly beneficial, to have a specific time each night. If you can correlate this time with the time of the sunset, even better, but have a specific time each night where you turn off all electronics, and make sure it's like an hour or 2 before you go to bed so that you're not feeling overstimulated and your circadian rhythms don't get messed up, okay? So have the quiet time before bed, maybe take a hot bath or a hot shower, or read from a book. Just make sure you're not bombarding yourself with energy by scrolling through social media or watching the news or something like that before you get to bed. Do what it takes for you to get a good night's sleep. Maybe you need a different pillow or you need different pajamas or whatever, but prioritize sleeping well. That's going to give your body time to process the energies, and it's very, very important for regulating our cortisol levels and reducing stress that we get enough sleep every night. And be honest with yourself about how much sleep you need. I know for me, I require more sleep than almost everybody else that I know, and that's always been true for me since the day that I was born. So it's always been true for me as an empath, and I used to feel a little bit awkward about this because when I was at sleepovers and stuff like that when I was younger, I would try to wake up with the other girls and I would always feel really, really sick, and I would always feel unwell because the truth is I need about an hour to 2 hours more sleep than the average person. Sleep the amount that you need to really feel your best, and that will help you to be stronger in facing the world. 9, find a creative outlet. Take time whenever you're feeling out of alignment or overburdened or you're losing faith in humanity or those types of things. Channel your energies, your thoughts, your feelings, channel them into a creative source. Find the creative spark that works for you. Maybe it's gardening for you, or maybe it's singing, or maybe it's writing. For my own self, the creative things that I like a lot: decorating spaces, make clothing or alter clothing, cooking, like making up recipes, experimenting, like trying to come up with my own recipes for like cookies or for a dinner or whatever. I love cooking as an expression of my creativity. I also love writing. I like photography. Maybe you like that too. But figure out what sort of creative hobbies that you really enjoy. Sometimes things like adult coloring books or paint by the numbers or stuff like that can be really super therapeutic for empaths. So find your creative outlet and then channel all the emotions that you've gathered and your feelings and your inspirations into your creative outlet, and that will help you to stay balanced. Number 10, which is to find a healthy remedy for your stress. It is not ideal for empaths to be on pharmaceuticals, as we mentioned already. So it's not the best thing for an empath to be on an antidepressant or something like that. It's better to find natural alternatives to help you manage your stress. And I have brought with me several that are right here that I think will work for most people. One of these will definitely work for you. Okay, so here's different things that I've used at different times for stress management. The first is Ashwagandha. This one is so wonderful that I actually made a specific video about it. But ashwagandha is an Ayurvedic herb that regulates the cortisol levels in our body. And so for some people, it could actually help to raise the levels, for other people lower, but it really soothes our nervous system. And this herb is very, 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 very common in many different Eastern societies. And it is excellent. It is absolutely excellent. When I was going through my real intense part of my spiritual awakening, my dark night of the soul, my Kundalini awakening, this saved my life. Like, this ashwagandha saved my life. I went from being like so stressed all the time, freaking out every time I just heard like something drop on the floor or stuff like that, just feeling really overstimulated, to feeling soothed and finding inner peace and joy. I no longer take this. I no longer need to take this. This will probably work for most people. Another option that you can take is Valerian Root. I'm taking this now. I don't take it during the day for stress because I've really just made my life pretty stress-free, but I take this before I go to bed at night to help me to calm down. So Valerian Root is another safe one that I think could work very well for you. I would say in regards to these supplements, if you're looking to try one, just go with what feels right to you. This is fantastic, in my opinion. This is lemon balm. This lemon balm, to me, it feels like a sedative. It's pretty, you maybe just take a small portion, but I use this and this lemon balm and valerian in combination. I just take one of each before I go to bed, and it helps me. It can be hard for me to calm down. These help me to calm down a lot. This one to me feels like it affects the mind more, valerian, like calming the mind. This one to me feels like it affects the nervous system, the body, and the mind, lemon balm. For relaxation, feelings of relaxation, is this one, passion flower. This flower, by the way, passion flower, is absolutely beautiful. Okay, if you're drawn to like purple things, you may like the passion flower. But yeah, I recommend having an herbal remedy for stress management. Even if you don't take it every day, just having something on hand that you know you can reach for if you're going to face a really stressful day. I also recommend, if you are feeling depressed, to supplement with vitamin D. I think that vitamin D is very healthy for everyone, but especially for empaths. I also keep with me this essential oil, organic neroli. I keep this with me in my purse time I go out. And the scent of this, it's one of many essential oils, like the scent of which is stress relieving. And so I'm kind of joking about this, but it's very serious. Like, I will take this before I go out in the world, and I will put it on my head like this, so people around me actually calm down, because they'll just get the subtle scent when I'm walking around. If I'm in traffic or something like that, I will just pull it out of my bag and I will smell this or put it on me if I'm facing a stressful situation. That's not the only essential oil that helps with stress. There's tons and tons that do, but just maybe find one that works for you and keep it on hand. Finally, number 11, help when it brings you joy. Empaths often feel compelled to help a lot of people. We can really get overburdened by trying to help too many people. If you're an empath, you're a healer, and you are here to help. One thing that can be really beneficial is to only help when it brings you joy, but also look for little ways to help that do bring you joy. Instead of feeling like you have to help everybody that you encounter when you come through your day, maybe in the morning think about just that one person that you're going to make smile today, or that one random act of kindness that you're going to do. But look for ways to help that bring you joy, and it's going to be different for everybody. For one empath, it might be like, my favorite way to help is to make cookies and then hand them out and surprise people for their day. For another empath, it might be like, oh, my favorite way to help is to be a listening ear for somebody that's in need. But for you, you want to figure out what way do I really like to help that brings me joy, and then just focus on that way. I like to really help by helping people to improve their relationships and their communication in their relationships so that they can have more love, so they can have true love or experience true love more. So that's what I do all the time because I love it. But for you, figure out what way that you really like to help. Maybe it's through just sending uplifting messages to your friends or texting them uplifting messages or like funny memes or whatever, but just figure out which ways you like to help that bring you joy and just focus on those ways and release the pressure or tension that can come from feeling like we have to help everyone. Okay? All right. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you are just blossoming into just the most balanced, empowered empath that you can be, and that you're feeling healthy and strong and excited about life here on this planet. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to stop by any Tuesday or Friday for a brand new video on the Maya's Dream channel. So thank you so much for watching, and namaste. Bye.